Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Massive Phenomenon 5, Victoria Stilliers. So far, this list has dealt only with skydiving accidents, which some people may claim is just an unfortunate inevitability of partaking in such a dangerous pastime. While this may be true, not everyone who experiences a skydiving accident is a victim of bad luck or their own poor decision making. In April 2015, experienced skydiving instructor Victoria Stilliers had been stuck on the ground for nearly a year as she had been pregnant and recently given birth to her second child. Her husband, Emil, decided to book a parachute jump for her at the Netherton Airfield in Wiltshire, England, as a way of rewarding her for all the sacrifices she made during her pregnancy. The morning of jump, the weather was poor, and after numerous delays, Victoria and 11 others decided to do a low-altitude jump from 4,000 feet or 1,219 meters as cloud over prevented them jumping from a higher altitude. 4. Nicholas Alcemade. Everybody on this list up to this point has made their own decision to jump from a plane, apparently trusting themselves and everyone around them enough to embark on a pursuit that some would describe as exhilarating and others would call foolhardy. Either way, Nicholas Alcemade was in neither of these camps when he found himself serving as a rear gunner on a RAF Lancaster bomber during the Second World War. His mission, along with the rest of his squadron on the night of March 24th, 1944, was to attack the German capital of Berlin. Everything was going pretty well until the return flight when strong winds blew many of the British bombers off course and toward the Ruhr Valley, an immensely important industrial center for Nazi Germany with an intense concentration of anti-aircraft defenses to deter bombing raids. Shortly before midnight, Nicholas's bomber, or nicknamed Werewolf, was attacked from below by a German fighter plane, causing irreparable damage to their aircraft and forcing the captain to order his crew to bail out with their parachutes. Number 3. Ivan Shishov. Colonel Ivan Shishov was also fighting against the Nazis in World War II. However, he was a navigator for the Russian Red Air Force, serving in an Ilyushin Tu-4 bomber when it was attacked by German fighter planes. He bailed out at a height of roughly 23,000 feet or 7,010 meters, but unlike Nicholas Alcemade in the previous post, he did have a parachute. Ivan's problem was that opening the parachute too soon would make him an easy target for German fighter planes, so he chose to free fall as far as he could and deployed the parachute at the last possible second. Unfortunately, after falling from such a great height, Ivan passed out halfway down, meaning he was now plummeting toward the ground with no way of saving himself. It's thought that Ivan must have reached speeds of between 120 and 150 miles an hour, or 193 and 241 kilometers per hour during his descent before he crashed into the edge of a snowy ravine, sliding and rolling to the bottom where he came to rest. There he could examine his injuries, which included a fractured spine and a shattered pelvis. 2. Alan Meiji. Alan Meiji decided to join the American Air Force after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in December 1941, and World War II went from being a mostly European conflict to an all-out global war. On January 3, 1943, Alan was in England launching bombing raids against Nazi U-boat pens in Lorient, France, when the B-17, in which he was the turret gunner, was shot down over St. Nazaire. Alan quickly realized his parachute was useless, as anti-aircraft fire had torn a massive hole in it, wounding him in the process. He was making his way to the bomb bay in order to bail out when the B-17 exploded, flinging the unconscious man into the sky with no way to save himself. He fell over 20,000 feet or 6,096 meters straight down toward the down below. He eventually crashed throughout the glass ceiling of the train station, becoming entangled in the girders and steel cables that held up the roof. His arm was nearly severed from his body, and he'd lost most of his teeth and sustained injuries to his arms, legs, knees, and ankles, but he was still alive. He was pulled down from a train station roof by soldiers and treated well by German doctors at numerous hospitals and POW camps before the war ended. Finally, he was allowed to return home. He rarely spoke about his lucky escape to anyone and eventually died peacefully at home 61 years after his incredible fall into enemy territory. Number 1. Bear Grylls. Bear Grylls is a household name in England, and many Americans may know him from his numerous shows on the Discovery Channel. However, far fewer people are aware of how close he came to plummeting to his death in 1996. Bear was only 21 years old and was training with the 21 SAS Regiment, or UK Special Force, which is why he found himself leaping from a plane over Zambia in Africa. Unfortunately, his parachute failed to open at 16,000 feet or 4,877 meters, leaving him spinning violently toward the ground with no time to deploy his reserve chute. He eventually crash-landed on his back, suffering fractures to his spine in 3 places. Doctors claimed he was mere millimeters from never walking again or worse, despite a slow and grueling recovery and rehabilitation period. Just 2 years later, Bear Grylls managed to climb to the top of Mount Everest. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also watch the videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.